The story is as old as night and day. Love torn between two, an old cliché. Love doesn't learn and love doesn't know. Love can only see what love can show. This is the story of love torn in two. Boy meets girl in worlds of blue. Mark came from the west side of the city, where the houses are big and the girls are pretty. Mark was handsome, humble and shy. Mark had big dreams and dreams to fly. Mark had a friend, a lone comrade. Mark's friend was John, and Mark was all John had. John came from the east side of the city, where the smoke is thick and the air is gritty. John was big, strong and bold. John held dreams, but his dreams grew old. The two were different, yet much the same, locked in a circle, a deadly game. Fate is the game that God does play. Wake up one morning, different world, different day. In this game, Fate's name was Gabrielle, a girl so beautiful words hardly tell. Hair as dark as the midnight sky, a smooth complexion, and a piercing eye. Gabrielle was an angel sent to the city, whom many did love, and many do pity. The three came together by chance alone. They came together and their fates were sewn. It was a typical night for the two, had won some bets and lost a few. As they walked through their city, they saw a girl so young, so pretty. They stopped in their tracks and they stared in awe. They stood there dumbfounded with a gaping jaw. Gabrielle smiled and gave a wave. Their fates were sealed, no one could save. That night the boys went their separate ways, staggering home in love's drunken haze. John knew he had to act with haste, or Mark would have Gabrielle with no time to waste. So it was John who spoke to her first, acting his lines out with fine rehearse. He spoke of things he'd like her to see, from the bustling city to the tallest tree, from the roaring ocean and the sandy beach to the distant stars just out of reach. He wanted to show her the man he was. He wanted to treat her like a true man does. Gabrielle was stunned and taken back by his request. Gabrielle was stunned, but granted it nonetheless. That night, Gabrielle and John traveled the city. She saw the man he was, strong and witty. He told her of simple times and simple things, the simple way and the peace simple brings. He took her home that very night, gave her a kiss and hugged her tight. Till we meet again, my precious one, from this day on till the day I'm done. John walked home floating on air, to his home back through the city without a care. He had met his woman, he had met the one. Things were bright for John, bright as the sun. How could he have known things would change? Things become different, things go strange. Mark called for Gabrielle that very next day. Love confused, love led astray. Mark didn't know John had been before. Mark didn't know and knocked on her door. Mark greeted with a smile and a single white rose, kissed her hand gently, and Gabrielle froze. My name is Mark, and my searching is through. I've met the most beautiful girl, and she is you. Gabrielle blushed and batted her eyes. Tell me, young man, do you speak lies? Won't you do me the honor and come go with me? You can have what you want, or see what you'd like to see. Gabrielle took his hand and left right away, gone to find material things and learn the material way. The finest clothes and the finest car, the finest things, the money went far. The finest girl and the finest night, the finest life now in sight. Mark took home a different girl that night. Gabrielle had touched the sky, and it felt right. Mark gave her a kiss and brushed back her hair, took a step back, and gave her a stare. Good night, Gabrielle. I'll see you soon. Next time, my love, I'll give you the moon. What Mark didn't know was John loved Gabrielle too. Two friends in love, what do friends do? That night, Gabrielle did not sleep. She thought of John and of Mark and began to weep. A choice had to be made, and it had to be done. A problem had to be faced, and she couldn't run. She first thought of John in his simple ways, leading simple lives through simple days. She thought of children and a loving spouse. She thought of a dog, a cat, and a small cottage house. She then thought of Mark and the wealthy life. She thought of carefree days as a carefree wife. She thought of having everything she could ever dream. She thought of a towering mansion next to a babbling stream. Her decision would not be an easy one to make. Two men in love, one heart to break. But decisions like this are sometimes made on their own. With two men in love, love sets the tone. The decision was made that very next day, when John and Mark both called Gabrielle's way. John looked to Mark and asked, "Why are you here?" "To pick up my love," he said with a sneer. "Oh, good friend, what is love's name?" "My love is Gabrielle." "Well, my love's the same." John struck Mark and he reeled back. John moved forward to press the attack. Gabrielle heard the noise and she ran outside. She saw Mark and John. She screamed, she cried. But her cries fell upon deaf ears, and a blind eye turned toward her tears. Two men who called each other friend now were fighting to the bitter end. John and Mark rolled into the street, over the curb, across the hard concrete. And there in the street, it all came to an end. The hatred, the love, the anger, and the friend. John and Mark learned the cost of love, and with their lives they paid. Two friends dead, staring up at the sky. Gabrielle asking, why? Why did they have to die? Their only crime was their love was true. Blind love can't see what love makes us do. Gabrielle would never love again. She lost two loves, two good men. This is the story of love torn in two. Boy meets girl in worlds of blue.